Well, I'm down here at Iron Sight Defense with my good friend Rodney Van Zandt. Hey, Rodney, good to see you again, as always. He's been helping me shoot and get better and all that good stuff. I highly recommend Iron Sight Defense. We're at the range here in Rockcastle County, Kentucky, and Rodney's got a proprietary target that he came up with, and I thought I'd come down and shoot, learn some more about how to become a better shooter, and this target specifically is helping me do that, and I thought I'd get Rodney on camera to tell us how it works, and you can get these targets too. Rodney, tell me about this target.
Yeah, well, come up with this target this previous year. For years here at Iron Sight Defense, and just in my personal training, I'd used targets from different locations, different places I could get them, silhouette targets, simulated people on them, that sort of thing, and I had used a Sharpie marker continuously myself and in classes to draw different things on that piece of paper in order to have what I needed to work with on there. So I just started making notes, which I'm a big fan of doing, and started putting down what it was I needed on a target. And when I got a big list of it, I thought, hey, if I can make that on one target, it won't be the best for everybody, but it will work to fit my personal needs, so I'm ready to go with it.
Well, tell me, let's go through the target first.
Sure.
Since I've been shooting it with you and I have a basic understanding, let's make sure everybody understands. Let's take a look at the square, triangle, and these numbers, and what's all that for?
We use those, and like I said before, I had previously had to draw these on, or you can buy targets. I know everybody's probably seen them online. You can buy them that have a bunch of different shapes, numbers, different colors, and that sort of thing. And they're set up to play Kim's game, like a keep in memory system is what that acronym's for. But pretty much what I do with these is
we use that in tracking too. Is that a common law enforcement or gun
I think
fighting?
It's just a training. I don't know exactly where it originated, but I think just as far as training, somebody in the past had come up with that for engaging mental activity while you're doing something else.
Right.
So for years I drew them on there. And on this target, I can call out a number or a shape to you.
So I'm out there shooting, and you call out
2.
And I have to shoot the 2.
Not only do you have to use your fundamentals of marksmanship in order to hit your target, but you've got to cognitively decide on which target it is I'm wanting you to engage.
And why is that helping us?
Well,
what's it doing for us?
We don't just train people to shoot. We want you to, I always say, think, don't plink.
Right.
So you're not just out here, they're not just out here shooting rounds off and wasting ammo, or having a good time out of it and just burning through it. You're actually using it to build up some type of mental platform that you're going to work from.
Right.
So yeah, if I say, hey, I've got a threat target at whatever distance and in this direction, and this is the description, you're going to have to find the right one in order to engage it.
Right.
So this is kind of simulating that same mental process.
What about this guy's? This is different from most targets in that it's not just some kind of bland spot.
Right.
It's got a guy's face on it. Tell me about that.
Well, a lot of times I will see zombie targets, and they've got a zombie on them. Those are fun. If you want to take your girlfriend or your kids or whatever out.
I hate zombie targets.
I hate zombie targets. I've never purchased the first one, Craig. That should make you happy.
Good.
I have seen them, and I do understand where the niche is in them.
Yeah.
But this is not that. And it's not a plain silhouette target, just to where it's a gray or black or white or purple color or blue color. You can buy them bright orange or whatever. Nobody is attacking us. We don't have orange aliens attacking us currently.
Right.
So, it's not realistic to me. Even if this guy didn't have a face and hands and he's the shape of a man, but still there's an area right there that's not covered in realism.
And I notice he's got this triangle here. Mm-hmm. What's that there for?
Well, the face is on there to go back to what I was saying before, so it's not just a blank something. It's an actual person looking at you with a not so pleasant demeanor, and you have to look, that target in the eyes, and it takes that visualization of the realism of an attacker or an adversary. The triangle here is ocular cavity. This guy's big bald head makes a nice, like a helmet for especially handgun rounds. I've seen a lot of them in law enforcement where people actually either shoot themselves or get shot in the head. It will penetrate the skin, obviously, may hit and either crack the skull or whatever, and send it right around that dome.
That skull.
Yeah. So this right here is the ocular cavity, and it's soft tissue, cartilage in your nose, of course your eyes, soft tissue. All that is a good pathway into the things that make people stop doing what they're doing in a quick manner.
Gotcha.
So that's
and
what
you got this guy here. Who's this right here? What are you going to use that for?
You could use him in handgun training if you wanted to, or with a rifle if you wanted to do it and do some precision marksmanship. So it just simulates a very small percentage shot, maybe a hostage taker or something hiding behind this gentleman here. You could conversely use, this is the hostage, whichever way you want to play it out.
Right.
But it gives you something to know, hey, I'm not supposed to be tagging this guy's ear. If every round counts, I want him in this guy if he's the bad guy.
Right. So if we keep moving around the target, I notice we'll get to this stuff in the middle in a minute.
Sure.
Why do you have, you got this outline of a dude, and then you've got these actual real hands. Tell me about these hands.
Well, the real hands give me a couple of different things. Number one, you're not looking at a target with no hands. You know, I can stand back here and say, hey, threat, or, you know, that guy has a gun or has a knife or whatever. But realistically, when you look up and see, I mean, that's pretty much what you're going to see if somebody's pointing a gun at you. It may be out here in a different place, wherever the guy may be holding it. But, you know, you're going to see the business end of a firearm. And so that's why it's there. He is an actual threat target. The reason this hand is here, I mean, to just add realism, he does have two hands. And if you want to take a cutout of this hand, you can purchase those, paste them right over this guy to where he's both hands open, and all of a sudden he's a no-shoot. You know, if you want to do shoot, no-shoot targets.
Also, if we're doing room clearing or something like that, you walk in the room, this guy's got two hands up.
Yeah, you don't want to shoot that guy.
Yeah.
So also, you know, I can have this guy no-shoot, that guy shoot, turn you around back here, give you some direction. When you turn around, you make that cognitive decision, once again, in which target to engage.
So tell me about this. Looks like some sort of precision marksmanship right here in the center.
A zero target. A lot of times zero targets are bigger than this. If you go out and you take your rifle, whatever your favorite zero is, let's say it's 50-yard zero, and you go out, in order to get on this little guy, you're going to use some ammunition to get it on paper before you start fine-tuning your zero. What this little guy does is, previously I had used other zero targets and just stapled them onto a target that I was previously using. So you can go out to like 20 yards and get your windage correct on here, where, you know, it's not that far distance, and then get your elevation set to wherever it is you want it to be per your zero. And then when you get to 50 yards, you're not wasting a magazine full of ammo over here trying to get over onto this spot. You're already, you know, that close.
So with that process, and in essence this target, you're going to save money by buying the target.
Oh, by buying the target, absolutely. You're going to save money in ammunition at your 50-yard zero, whatever it happens to be. So yeah, that guy's on there, and he also is going to designate, which I'll go ahead and mention it, which is this the pelvic girdle area.
Oh, so, while we're at it, just go ahead and talk about, hoping this shows up on camera. I'll get a close-up of it.
Okay.
But it looks like you got the pelvic girdle, the spine, and the primary heart and lung shots too as well.
Sure. In almost every class.
Now, is this about the same size of a human?
Yeah, if I actually went over that. It's funny that you mentioned, because I went over with the measuring tape, measured myself, and, you know, you take a look at what the average size of a man is walking around, man or woman. And if I stand in front of this guy or behind him right here, he's just a little bit wider than I am right here.
Yeah.
And so I think it accurately represents the size of, maybe not the average person, but the average person is probably bigger than this. So you're at least on with the realism of the size of the silhouette target.
Fantastic. So we got the heart and the spine in there. That's not real defined, but we will, when we get up close to it, we'll know whether we, because we're not going to see that anyway in real life.
Correct. Yeah, you're just aiming seriously at the biggest part, center mass of the biggest part of the exposed target.
Which is what this box is. Tell me about this box.
That 8-inch by 8-inch target, that's what it is, 8 inches by 8 inches in the center of his chest. That is the biggest, widest area of him from here to here. So if you want to add, you know, give yourself the greatest advantage of striking him with a round, you know, aim center mass, aim small, miss small, and that's what's going to happen for you. These other things that are on here, which you've got the pelvic girdle, this spinal cord, the medulla is right in here, that ocular cavity, the heart, and the lungs, which both of those are appropriately sized for what somebody's heart and lungs is or are. And in class we talk about the anatomy of a target. We discuss those type of things and what makes a person either stop doing what they're doing or limits their mobility in order to gain access to do more harm. So the placement of your shots based on, I mean, we want to shoot him to stop him, that's the point.
Right.
So we want to shoot him particularly in particular places. It's going to make him do that more quicker.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I think what we've missed is these guys. What are these here for?
Yeah. Back to this guy and those. You can use this for handgun marksmanship too. You know, you want to do some fine tuning on your fundamentals of handgun skills and your, you know, equal height, equal light with your sights, trigger pull, and that sort of thing. You can work on these. These are here for.
So I know what you mean by that. Mm-hmm. Just go ahead, because that's good free information. Something you get out of class if you come here. What's equal height, equal light mean?
Yeah, equal height, equal light is in handgun speak. You have a front sight and a rear sight, and in order for that round to go where you want it to, the front sight has to have equal height with the rear sights, and it has to have equal light coming in between the sights in the back. Right. So it's centered this way, and it's also level this way. And then the other main thing in handgun fundamentals, which there's a lot of things go on to it, but is your trigger pull. So those two fundamentals working together is what will really show up on these small targets.
So that's just to get us going, make sure we got good marksmanship.
It is. Over here, I like to do a little drill where I start you out at whatever distance you feel comfortable. I'll say right here we're at, let's say, 7 yards, and you pick whichever circle is you think you can put every round I call onto. And, you know, some people are brave and they want to shoot this one, and some people are more realistic and they want to shoot, you know, one of the bigger ones, or even one of these, which they can do. And then we go over fundamentals of marksmanship. I work with them on that, and then I'll back them up to, say, 10 or 12 yards, have them shoot it again, then bring them back up to 7, and you'll see their confidence go from, hey, you know, I picked this guy first, but now that I've done this a couple times and seen these things, I think I can get them all in there. Works out really good, and I've had a lot of success with that.
Cool. I like that. Let's throw some knowledge at these folks. Can you do that?
Sure.
Couple questions. One would be, if you have a magic wand, and everybody that conceals and carries, for example, could do one thing and one thing better for their safety, what would it be? And I'm talking, it could be shooting, it could be the way they carry, anything.
Well, probably the biggest thing would be their situational awareness. You know, carry a gun, absolutely. Carry it concealed, in my opinion, you know, absolutely. Carry around in the chamber, absolutely. Work on your handgun fundamentals, absolutely. Be able to hit your target. But if you're not at least right behind the curve with your situational awareness, you might as well not have that handgun.
How can we develop that?
That'd be a whole nother video, probably.
Okay, let's do that some other time.
We could do it some other time.
Give me the top 2 things to help somebody with situational awareness.
Top 2 things with situational awareness would be to force yourself to practice it. So when you walk through a doorway, no matter if it's in your home or if you're out shopping with your wife or kids or whatever, make a mental note on purpose to say, let's just say you park your car. When I park my car there is a blue car beside of it and a red truck on the right side of it.
Nice.
And the license plate for this one is this, and the license plate for that one is that. And when you come back out, see what's different than what it was when you were there, and see if you can remember those license plate numbers.
Cool.
You know, dedicate those things to memory. When you walk through a door, what I was going to say at your home.
Yeah. This would be number 2. Number 2 thing to tell them.
I thought about it, just come to mind a Denny's restaurant for whatever reason. Walking to a Denny's restaurant somewhere I was, and you know, I look left, I look right. There's the front door and the side door, which is on the front of the building, and the majority of the seating's in the back. There's no way out back there unless you go through the kitchen, probably.
Right.
You know, but that's just a mental note that you make as soon as you first walk in, and then you retain that. And I may retain it at the back of my mind, but if it went down while I was in there, that's probably going to be already stored and me be able to access it.
All right. Top thing, give me one thing that we can share with everybody to help the general person that comes to classes at Iron Sight Defense. The one thing that you could tell all of us that will help us become more accurate with our handgun.
More accurate with it.
What's something that you see a lot that you go, you help people, and in classes you help them do this, it's a better grip, it's a better sight picture.
The number one thing, I got it.
What is it?
I would completely take all the ammunition out of your handgun.
Yeah.
Check the chamber, take that ammunition, put it in another room. Come back into that room, pick out a safe direction to point that downloaded firearm.
Right.
Drop the slide on it and work on slowly pulling your trigger while your sights stay equal height and equal light.
Right.
Because we do that in class, we wouldn't have to do it in class if you done it at home when you got here. You know, I could show you something else, but that would save you some time when you got here. When you got here, you would be surprised at what that right there will do. A lot of times I'll tell people, slow down. And what I mean, and I tell them this, I'm not saying slow down your draw or slow down your presentation. I'm not talking about slow down on lining your sights up. What I'm explaining is, what I'm trying to impress is slow down the press of your trigger to where your sights stay lined up until the trigger breaks. Concentration on your sights and that slow, smooth trigger press. It's not rocket science. I didn't come up with that, but it works. It's fundamentals. It's been around for forever.
Right.
It's right.
Cool. Well, again, everybody, check out Iron Sight Defense. I train with them anymore about, I don't know, once every other month, maybe once a month anymore. I don't know. Rodney's, as you can tell, he's a real easygoing guy. That's one of the reasons we come here. And I highly recommend get on the ironsightdefense.com.
Iron Sight Defense, or you can go to isd-ky.com.
Okay.
It's easier to remember, whichever.
Facebook?
Yep. It's Iron Sight Defense on Facebook.
All right, cool. So check those out. Get on there. Come join me in a class. I'll be here, and that way we can train together. As always with Nature Reliance School, come on, join in. Let's learn together.